Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Moore. That is Juanita Heckel. This is the level 3 Frank R Wallace call. Glad you're here. A lot of people are still hopping on. I want to make an announcement that I made on Sunday night. I know all of you were not on that call on Sunday, but I'm starting a new call. And it's going to be a paid call. And it's going to be, excuse me, just like the Prime Link call that we talked about all the time. It's going to be on a Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a workshop. And it's going to start on November 16th from 11 o'clock in the morning to at least 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be probably going to run about 4 hours every month. But the difference here is that we are going to do this by study guide. And we are going to start out with the first insight from Mark Hamilton, which is in NeoThink 2 key book. In the back of the book, it has all 3 insights there. Well, we're going to start with the first. So the way it works is I'm charging $100 each month. For $100, you also get the study guide. If you want me to download it to you, it's $100. If you want it mailed to you by a hard copy, that's $110 to cover shipping. A lot of people have signed up already. It's great. I know a lot more people are ready to sign up. I think this response is going to be bigger than I thought. But if you really, and I really took a lot of time on Sunday, I'm not going to take that much time tonight to talk about it, mainly because I can't talk for long periods of time. If you really, truly want to understand this information once and for all, and I believe in this so much, it's the way to learn this is by questions. That's what the study guide's all about. It's asking questions. So basically, I had about 5 people sign up today, and they're very anxious. And I've been telling everybody, once you get the study guide, so pay the $100. If you're going to do it, pay now. That way I can get the study guide out to you. You can start to answer the questions now. So when we come up to the 16th of November, you'll have all the answers. And now you can participate. And then you want to see if you're right on your answers, if you're not, if it's close, whatever. You don't have to have all 49 done by the 16th, because we're not going to cover all 49 in 4 hours. This is a very detailed, nitty-gritty call, very interactive. We might have more than 2 or 3 or 4 people on at the same time answering a question, because there's going to be some interaction there. Because everybody has a different view sometimes of an answer. So Juanita was my co-host on that call when we did it for 3 years. And the group of us always talked about how great that call got, especially at the end. So I feel I had to bring it. It's been bugging me since I stopped the call last year. But it's time. It's time for all of us to really take a step forward here. Once you're on this call one time, you will be hooked on it. Because now you're going to sit there and say, wow, now I'm starting to really understand this. Because most people here, they have a good idea, but they just don't have it down yet. This is going to get you to get down on it. And you're going to understand it, and you're going to get excited. And now this information is going to seem brand new to you, because everything's going to fall into place.
Hey there, this is Big B. Welcome to Thursday night. This is the replay of earlier tonight. So I just want to welcome you to the Frank R. Wallace call. Here is Charlie Moore.
If you have any questions about it, if you want to...
I don't, by the way, they're talking about a conference, a workshop, and they're charging $100. Well, next Wednesday morning, I'm hosting a free summit on Facebook. It's free. It starts at 8 a.m., and it's going to be all day. We got 3 fabulous sessions in the morning, 3 fabulous sessions in the afternoon, and 1 session in the evening time. And there's a 2-day summit, October 30th and 31st.
Yes, Charlie.
And it's free.
This call, this workshop. It's a workshop, and you will have some breakthroughs on it. Also, I'm going to be joining Charlie on this call every the Saturdays from 11 to 3 because I wouldn't miss it for the world anyway. So if you want to get started on it, like Charlie said, you want to get with him right away. And I'm going to repeat his phone number again, just so you all had a chance to get a pen and paper to make sure you have Charlie's number. And that's the Reach Out program. Oh, I heard someone from Vermont. Who is that from Vermont? Well, Charlie is not just a study guide, but he has put together quite a directory for all of us that are getting involved in doing the study guide. Getting involved in doing this Reach Out program. We're all, I'm on the Reach Out program because I know that no matter what, we always we stumble on some of the literature, or we get confused. This is a great way to interact with another like-minded member. And especially Charlie has put it together where it's state by state. You can actually look in your state and see other members on the Reach Out program, and they're saying, "Hey, I'm involved. I want to get to know another Neofaith member." And it's just like Charlie said, you're not always going to connect and really connect with the person you think you might right off. But you just keep trying and you keep contacting members. So if you want the Reach Out program, you need to send an email to Charlie at advertise it here. And this is one way we can stay updated on what's going on in the society. Charlie and I used to do a news and updates call, but that's gone away. A lot of calls have gone away. So this is a great way to keep us updated and a great way for you to share. Maybe you have some poetry. Maybe something's happened in your life exciting that you just want to share. This is a good way to get started on that too. And if you want to get in there, you just email Brenda again, and I hope I have this right. If I don't, Charlie, correct me. On what we're going to be on tonight. I'm in the Prime Discovery, and we're in the appendix of the Golden Helmet. Charlie went over the appendix last week with you, and he started with the Golden Helmet. And why is the appendix important for us to go over? I just want to recap on what he went over, some of the Golden Helmet, what it means, and what it means to us as Neothink members here. If we don't understand the basics of this literature, of what the meaning of these words that Dr. Wallace has wrote in the past, he's no longer with us, of course, but what he wrote here is life-changing for all of us. All of us have experienced in this AC world the FDA, the brutal FDA and the IRS, the abusive IRS. I still go through it. I know I have friends in the society that they're actually going through challenges with these organizations, I call them, that are parasitical elites. So Dr. Wallace, he put a lot of definitions here for us so we can build that wealthy life we're meant to have. And the Golden Helmet, for instance, I'm just going to recap a bit here, are all revealing. They're wide-scope accounting tools that evolved naturally from the fully integrated honesty of neotech. So we're going to be studying on Golden Helmets. And the Golden Helmets are for us to banish the income taxes and taxes on productions, earnings, savings, property, inheritance, and estates. This is important to us. For us to get to the Sea of You, for us to be in that 12 Visions world, we're going to have to stand up to to some of these challenges, I call them, because we're the ones, the chosen ones, like Mark Hamilton has pointed out, that has to not have that fear come in our place and hold us back. So, but we don't do it we do it by quiet power, just like Dr. Frank R. Wallace has instilled in himself with our Zon power. So I wanted to cover that first golden helmet because that's where we're at. And we all know that what neotech is. It's a noun or an adjective meaning fully integrated honesty. And also subjective laws include political agenda laws conjured up by politicians and bureaucrats. So I'm just going over a few things here real quick. And, we're always fighting the parasitical elites, the unnatural people who drain everyone. The parasitical elite class lives by usurping, swindling, and destroying values produced by others. Dr. Wallace was a man that believed in the honest worker, the blue-collar worker, not the white-collar hoax. He was very educated, intelligent. He knew what all of this illusions were about with these parasitical elites. He grew up in a state where he was the son of a judge. He knew all how they usurped and they swindled to get what they wanted, and the working class would suffer from it. And then I want to go over neo-cheating is the undetected usurpation of values from others, the unsuspicious swindling of money, power, or values through deceptive manipulations of rationalizations, non sequiturs, illusions, and mysticism. All such net harm inflicted on society can now be objectively measured by the wide scope accounting of neotech. Charlie last week also went over truth and honesty, and we know that truth can be manipulated, and truth is a mushy word that holds no, it doesn't stand on its own, where honesty is solid, and it does stand on its own. And that's what we are in NeoThink. We're fully integrated, honest individuals. And that's how we approach everything, with that fully integrated honesty mentality. This is the hardest thing for us to really realize, that this is our, I guess you would say, our journey. That when we approach things with the fully integrated honesty, and we can see where we're going, we always get good results. And I just want to say that because I'm giving it from my perspective right now, and that's the way I see it. Anytime that I move forward with anything with that fully integrated, honest approach, I get amazing results. And this is a practice that's it's really hard, because sometimes to be honest is probably the hardest thing that we all can do, because we live in an anti-civilization that they want us to sidestep honesty. And sometimes we feel like we've been punished for being honest, but actually in the long run, we come out ahead. And I can honestly say that, using that word. And the anti-civilization is where we left off last week. And this is the irrational civilization gripping planet Earth. Gripping planet Earth. That's what we have to tend with right now. An unreal civilization riddled with professional value destroyers and neo-cheaters, causing endless cycles of wars, economic and property destruction, unemployment and poverty, suffering, and death. Through neotech, the honest civilization of the universe will replace Earth's dishonest anti-civilization. Dr. Wallace, he always stood up for everything that he believed in. And one thing about it, he pulled no punches. What he is saying here is that when we are in the sea of you, we can, the anti-civilization, it's just poof, it just disappears because it doesn't serve us, so we don't participate in it. And we don't have to participate in it. If you think about Ms. Annabelle and the students, they built their business, but they never participated in that AC world. They became very successful driving on their essences. They never participated with the AC mentality. And, how many times have you, I know it's happened to me, that someone says, oh, if you do it this way, you'll really come out, you'll make a lot of money if you do it this way. Well, you have to look past all of those this ways, because sometimes that way isn't the way that you should approach it, because what seed are you planting, and what are you getting involved with? I've had challenges like that come to me in many forms all the time, and that's one thing about neothink. We have to stop and think about it. Is that going to be the honest approach to take for that particular issue or problem being pointed out at us? We're going to have to look at everything through the mentality of a neothink person. And with that, I want to go. The other difference is the civilization of the universe. Is the rational civilization throughout the law-abiding universe. A civilization filled with value producers providing endless cycles of wealth. Endless cycles of wealth. It's like it doesn't stop. It's infinity. Happiness and rejuvenation for everyone. Not just for just not for the few, but for everyone. Just visualize that. No more poverty. You don't see anybody on the street without a roof over their head because somebody wants to usurp them of their values. Professional value destroyers and parasitical elites are non-existent in the civilization of the universe. And that's mentally putting yourself there where there's not even a thought anymore. There's one mentor that I really like listening to. He always talks about thought and how energy follows thought. And that is true for us. If we focus on those types, we draw them to us. So we need to be the examples of a neothink person, a neothink individual, a Zon, a God woman, a God man. That means believing 1,000% yourself and standing up for what you believe is right and just. So the civilization of the universe to me is a place where I'm at peace in my heart, because I know that whatever I did, I put the honest, exerted effort out to be in that peace in my heart. And that's where we're at. It's not really, I don't know, I'm more simple, I guess, about it. I don't want to be like overthinking it, because I know that if I'm loyal to my honesty and I'm not buying into the AC world of you have to do this or you have to do that and bring fear into your life. I've had taxes all month, I have to tell you, to pay. And threats of taxes or calls come in that I know are not, they're not real. They're just usurpers or someone about taxes. And I'm looking at these taxes going, how they have affected me over the years. I remember many years ago that I didn't pay taxes for 9 years with my son's father, and it actually destroyed our life because the tax situation was just, they threaten you, and they don't care about your home life or anything. And that's why Dr. Wallace has so many IRS abuse reports in his literature, because he knew that it didn't matter how much. I read some abuse reports today. People were destroyed over $430. And then, some that their tax, someone did their tax wrong, and then they ended up paying $30,000. And sometimes they don't even make $30,000 a year. So this abuse is still going on, and that's why when we have to really look at the difference between the AC mentality and the C of U mentality. And fear is one thing that will stop you from achieving that C of U mentality. So that's one thing that the biggest thing that we have to remove, and that's why this appendix is so important for us to really understand the meaning of the words of the Neothink literature. And also, I want to go over Zon. Zon is a collective word related to the fully integrated honesty of Neotech and comprises 1, the civilization of the universe; 2, those operating from its wide scope perspective; and 3, the power required to control existence. The integrated power to gain wealth and happiness. To gain, not to lose, but to gain all of that wealth and happiness that you deserve to have. And that's what Zon is. It's the power required to control existence. The integrated power to gain wealth and happiness. I know some of you, it's hard to believe that you are a Zon, but when we return to the point of our origin, we were born perfect. We were born without flaws. And if you can take your imagination back to that point of origin, where you weren't mutated by religions, by politics, by your parents, by your schools. You were just born in perfection, without all the mutation. And Dr. Frank R. Wallace always said that if we can remove that disease of the mind, that mysticism, we can live in that 12 visions world of unlimited wealth, unlimited power, and I want to say unlimited peace and safety, because that's what it means to me. And I'm going to finish the appendix with Zon power. Is the power to control, not create. It's the power to control, not create. Existence. Zon power is derived from applying the fully integrated honesty and wide scope accountability of Neotech to all conscious actions. And fully integrated honesty is one of our catalysts. And Dr. Wallace mentions it in every paragraph. Just about every paragraph. And Charlie, if you want to add something right now, go ahead. Or
Great job. All of these words are very important, and we have to live by them. Like everybody thinks, well, Azan, I don't know if I'm Azan, and so many of us thought that, and I'm not really sure what Azan is, and can I ever be Azan? If you live your life by just being honest every time, you're Azan. It's that simple. Now, is it simple to be honest all the time? I don't think so. It's hard to do it in this AC world, but that's what we have to strive for. If we can strive to be honest with ourselves first, and then honest with other people, people can become addicted to honesty, because we've all been addicted to lying. Most of our lives we're taught to lie, and then we get addicted to it because we don't know any better. It's time that we stop and just talk to ourselves and take inventory. How honest are you every day? Do you live with that in your heart? Do you live with that in your soul? It's always important to go over the contents in these books with the definitions of some of these words. It really gets you back to the basics of neothink and neotech. But if you really truly want to be honest and understand the difference between truth and honesty, because there's such a big difference, and it's something we have to strive for. And then if you talk about the civilization of the universe, I'm not sure if everybody really understands what that is. And it's just, think about this world now that we live in, this anti-civilization, and take everything in this anti-civilization and turn it around to be the complete opposite. Completely 100% opposite of what's happening today. And that's the civilization of the universe. It's living in a world that's all honesty. That's all creative. Imagine living in something like that. That everything, living under the prime law, really is what it is. Imagine everybody putting more into society than taking out of society. Everyone living their essence. If you take all the governments in the world, you take all the churches in the world, the two biggest mysticisms out there, government and church, what do they put into society? And if you can't come up with an answer, there is no answer. They drain society of everything that's valuable, everything that is creative. They just take it out, and they take it out. So we have to do this basically looking at ourselves first. Every day, at the end of the day, do you think that you put more into society or that you took out more? And that's the one question that you have to ask yourself every day to see if you're moving forward or not. And some days you're going to realize, no, you know what? I probably didn't put anything into society today. I got to change that. So that the next day, maybe you go out and you do like a good deed for someone, or you help somebody do this, or you just do something good, or you found your essence, or you started a business, anything like that. Yes, you put more into society today. You read the books. Anything that is productive, you are putting more in than you're taking out. The government has never taken anything. They have taken everything from us. They never have put into the pot. They never emptied up. That's why this world is the way it is. And the same with the religions out there too, and the churches. They just take and they take and they take. And they tell us that we have to be altruistic, and they tell us we have to sacrifice it. And they tell us that there's this make-believe God in heaven and all the other things that's up, that's out there. And then we all believed it. And, so it's time for us to really take these definitions seriously and say, am I living under these words? Do I understand what they really mean? They're not just in there for the sake of being there. I'll stop there, Juanita.
Okay, yes, because I want to thank you, Charlie. That was excellent description of what they take. And when they're taking like that, it promotes more poverty. because somebody has got some really sticky fingers up, taking from everyone. So that's why we're seeing the poverty we are seeing right now. And I want to go over chapter 1, the armed evil, because this is where Dr. Wallace, where he was really passionate about standing up for our rights. And he was the one that stood up for the honesty oath. He wanted the honesty oath, not the truth. And they gave him a hard time. But I wanted to cover where the IRS agents, they assaulted Dr. Wallace right in his writing office. They assaulted him. They threw copies of his just released publication against his body while screaming obscenities. How is Neotech going to help you now? This is the criminal of fear. And I call it fear, and you heard me bring up fear just a little while ago. It's just really been on my mind lately, because I think about every success that I have had in my life. I was in fear of it. And why I'm saying that right now, because I had to identify it. And when I identified it, I said, my gosh, even... I can remember when first doing a call with Charlie, the Prime Lit call. I remember him calling me on Tuesdays asking me if I'm going to be okay because of the fear. It was something I wanted to do, but I was in fear. And I didn't know why I was afraid. But that's how I identify fear, because it's just something that we all have in us at a certain point, because we've been under, like Charlie said, the churches, the politics, the rules of who made those rules and why do we have to live by them. So when his First Amendment was broken and they went in there and they attacked him. They attacked him when he had his animals right there. He had 2 cats. That's what he named his publishing company after. His INO Publishing was named after his 2 cats. And that violation and the language they used on him, it was just unacceptable. And they jailed him. And they described Dr. Wallace as a dangerous man because of his Neotech literature and espousals. I hope I'm saying that right. The federal judge characterized Wallace's Neotech work as a task of terrifying proportions. Why would they do that? Why would they say a task of terrifying proportions? And think about it, because he was standing up for the common man. He was standing up not just for himself, but for the common man that's paying all these taxes out, paying for what? I remember Digger saying one time on the call, I'm paying all these taxes, what are they giving me? Where is it going? How are they improving my life? What are they doing with all these taxes? Are we just buying someone another suit and tie to make another rule on us? Because that's what we're doing. Yet, in fact, Dr. Frank R. Wallace is the most dangerous man publishing terrifying literature, dangerous and terrifying to the professional value destroyers whose careers will eventually be ended by the golden helmet. It's wide scope accounting and its ostracism matrix. We have to keep our quiet power about us. But there's ways that we can overcome all of these types of abuses. And one is to get rid of the fear that we have inside of us, because there are ways to break through. And with the Neo-Think mentality and the fully integrated honesty, we can break through. I just can't imagine what this man must have went through just being shackled. The way they described, they shackled and chained him like he was like he was a violent man. He was not. He was a man of quiet power. So this is the fear. They wanted to make him an example of fear of if you stand up for what's just. And I know all of you in your lives must have stood up for something just and felt that threat come to you. This last Saturday night, I was out driving. It's one of the things I do. And I picked up a couple, and one got sick in my car. And I, I had to pull over and let them out. And the guy threatened to beat my ass if I took a picture of my car. But I stood up for my rights, and he threatened, and I was not afraid. I didn't let fear get in my way. And I think before Neil I probably would have got fear. I probably would have jumped in my car and took off, or I would have probably not reported it because I was of fear. And that's what basically that I wanted to go over with this armed evil tonight, Charlie. I wanted to, give maybe an example of why when we are standing up for something that's right and not just helping ourselves but helping others, it's fear that keeps us from moving forward. It's fear that keeps us from achieving. Because if we and really, what did Dr. Wallace call them but pipsqueaks, humanoids, because that's what they are when they act like that. They're just pipsqueaks and humanoids. And we must stand up for all of this. I know that all of you have certain situations in your life that you might come across, or family members that might say, hey, you're reading some bunch of garbage, you're going to get in trouble with that and everything. I've had that come across me too, and it was a fear at first, but I overcame it. I overcame it because I knew in my heart that I want to live in the sea of you, and I want to do it now. And so I make sure that I overcome any kind of fears that come my way. And it's like Charlie knows me well for over 4 years now, I believe, on these calls. That there's certain times that, yes, fear comes into all of us, but we have to move past that, because when we move past the fear comes the success. And that's what I wanted to share. And Charlie, if you have anything to say on that?
No, not really.
Not really?
Well, basically, think about this, right? It's always fear. Government runs by fear. There's never been a government on this earth that didn't run by initiatory force. There's never been a religion that ran that way. It's always forced on us, because if we were all honest, they wouldn't have jobs. But then think about this. You have fear of being honest. You have fear of believing in this. Well, what kind of a world is it where you have to have fear if you're honest? Is that the world that you want to live in? Or do you want to live in that sea of you where everybody is honest, or they are ostracized? It just, it's like when we talk about taxes. When we have extra money and we invest it in business, in different businesses, all right, I don't think there's a person out there who didn't invest if they didn't do the homework first. They look at the companies that they were thinking about investing in. Are they paying dividends every year? What's the outlook for them? Where has their stock been? Is it rising now? And they keep checking until they make a decision that they think is right, and they'll invest in it. All right. Now, let's look at the government as a business. Would you invest in it? No, they force us to invest in it. They make laws saying we have to pay these taxes and we have to do this and we have to do that. And if you don't do that, well, geez, you're going to end up in jail or we could take all of your money or whatever. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And then they have no accountability for the money that they take from us. We have no idea where it goes. We have no idea how much that they steal from it. But we know that every dime that we give them, most of that goes, just vanishes. Doesn't go towards anything but their pockets or somebody else's pockets. That's horrible.
Yeah.
So, what do we do? And again, this is what Neo thinks about in Neotech. We must learn this information. There's no excuses. None. The only way that we can ever fight back is if we are Neotech and Neothink. If we are that honest individual, if we are living our essence, if we understand this and have pride in it, and know that this is wrong the way that we're living now, otherwise, we might as well just give it up. And you can't feel that way about all of these writings if you don't understand them, if you don't really put the effort in. And again, I'm not going to, but this is one of the reasons why I'm starting up this call again.
Yes, Charlie. Yeah, I was just going to say that call is such a value because it really will help the breakthroughs come about. I know that when we were doing the call, and I worked with Charlie on that call, I know he saw many breakthroughs that I had, and then he let me discover my own too. Call him and tell him, Charlie, guess what I discovered about myself today? And he'd go, oh, really? You didn't know that? So it is a call that is going to help you move forward. It really is. It's going to help you become that person you're meant to be and get over some fears. Because the interactions that we had on the call was amazing. I know that we had some really amazing members that they really got a lot out of the Primewood study guide.
Well, it comes down to real simple here. Ask yourself, how long have you been here now? How long has it been since you bought that first book? And how many days have you been excited about Neothink since? How many breakthroughs have you had? How do you feel about yourself? Have you found your essence? Do you understand what they're trying to tell us? Are you living Neothink and Neotech? And if you don't come up with too many positive answers out of there, get on this call, because you have no idea what you're missing. Now, I've been here 11 years, and I've read these books every day, except for maybe 30 days out of those 11 years. And I'm still excited about this. I'm still learning from this. That's where you should be. And the only reason that you're not is because you don't understand it. You don't have the confidence. Once I realized that I know this stuff, my confidence went through the roof, and it hasn't ever come down. Because I know what I'm talking about. And this is not out of ego. I'm just so damn excited about this. And I'm really excited about this call, because I know I can help you. It's not, this will help you if you work. If you take those questions and you answer them, and then you come onto the call, and then you give some value, and then other people will talk, and then they'll give value, and then you can see it from different angles, the answers, because there's always going to be some different answers here. But that's what this is about. When you start having some breakthroughs, your life will never be the same. You will always continue to move forward now, because the breakthroughs are addictive. And when you turn that corner, wow, there's the difference right there. And it's one hell of a difference. But that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah, and Charlie, I wanted to read one paragraph here. Go ahead and drink some water or something.
Sorry,
Yeah, please take a rest. I'll do it. I'll talk. the ostracism matrix. I want to read that because it's something about how Dr. Wallace felt about the cyber communication. And he says here, today cyber communication and computer technology provide an inescapable ostracism matrix. At the deepest roots, that matrix exposes destructive people in their harmful careers. Over 2,450 American and foreign parasitical elites are already locked into that computerized matrix. Combined with the wide scope accounting as described in the neotech literature, that matrix identifies professional value destroyers in government, business, and the legal professions. That matrix will eventually reveal to everyone the world's most harmful people. Against golden helmet accounting, they can no longer hide behind their deceptions and illusions. And that's what turns me on, Charlie. I just, they cannot hide anymore. And once you, like Charlie said, once you understand this literature and you understand who you are inside and out, we're unstoppable. We're unbeatable. And Dr. Wallace was really about the internet because I remember reading, I don't know quite where it's at right now, but it's on my mind, that he said that the politicians cannot hang. Honesty is solid, and the politicians cannot hold on to the internet. They fall off at a point because of their deceit and lies, of their dishonesty. So honesty does